Hi everyone, it's me again. I know I just released a video doing a room tour. My second one where I start with a room tour and I fail at doing a room tour. And I know it's frustrating some people. You want to see my toys, you want to see my room. I don't know what to tell you. I get really distracted really easily. It's my ADHD, but this time I promise we're going to do a room tour. I've got it laid out exactly where I'm going to stop, where I'm going to start. I said that backwards. I'm going to go with it. This is a one take kind of thing. And I know what I'm going to talk about along the way. So hopefully I'm not going to get distracted. And I'm going to start right at my work desk, right where I do my work. So let's take a look. So this is my work desk right here. As you can see at the top, I've got some Mythic Legions figures. I've got the, they're not the Four Horsemen. They're from the Four Horsemen. Two of them are two of the Four Horsemen. I've got half the Horsemen, but then I've also got the Headless Horseman. And then I've also got this badass guy. This is Sir Gideon on his horse Bishop. I've got some Masterpiece Transformers back here as well, because I love Skyfire. He's my favorite. Mantenna was my favorite toy as a kid. I had the original vintage Mantenna growing up, and I like sucking on his eyes for whatever reason. Anyways, when they were doing the Origins, I'm like, I have to get that because it's my guy. So yeah, I got a couple of good figures back here. On the top up here, hold on. You guys hear that? You hear them? I hear breathe. Anyway, sorry. And here I've got some turtles. These are some third-party turtles, and then a NECA Usagi. I've got my fancy Gandalf back there, Ronin, some of the movie realization Star Wars figures. Oh no! Valigo fell. He hadn't fallen when I looked at him like 5 seconds ago. Same thing with Link. Wow, what happened there? I really should have checked. They were not falling over earlier today, but, and then hold on. Really? is it you guys? Is it? I don't think it is. Okay. I just got this from, this is Magic Square's Bruticus, the third-party Transformer, and it's been sitting on my desk because I don't really have room for it other places, but also I love him. But I also put the Gamerverse Captain America, and he's holding Wolverine because that's how big he is. I also, I don't know if you can tell, but I painted Wolverine's claws chrome silver, so they're kind of shiny, which I really like. Yeah. Some stuff. Hold on. I keep here. Is it you guys? Is it you? No, it's not you. What about you? What about you? Is it you guys? No? No? Huh. Is it? Oh. It's you. You're making that racket. Oh man, people are gonna be pissed. But I want to open this up. And I really feel like it should be some sort of unboxing video. All right. Well, here we have it. This is the last figure, I believe, that I'll be getting in 2025 for Black Series. I'm looking through my list of everything that's been announced, and unless I get some 2026 figures early, which is possible, it happens pretty much every year, but this is the last figure that was scheduled to come out in 2025 that I needed to complete my Black Series 2025 collection. This was announced back in July at San Diego Comic-Con. I was there in the audience, sitting next to Dan Larson and Robo, and we're having a good time. Land Speeder Luke was hanging out right behind me, bugging me. That jerk. Just kidding, Luke. I love you. You know I do. But yeah, we were having a good time and absolutely blown away when they announced this. So this is the 2-pack Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker from Empire Strikes Back. It's their first in what they call like the vignette series. Now, I guess you could say the first is actually the Obi-Wan Anakin that they had at San Diego Comic-Con, which I have not done a video on, honestly, and I feel like I should have, but by the time I got home, like Luke had already done his, and there were already so many. I just didn't think I had anything to add to the conversation, but I know that I'm pretty early of getting this because I just moved just south of Chicago, which is, if you don't know, where Hasbro Pulse ships their stuff out from. And this is a Pulse exclusive or Pulse Disney exclusive, but I'm pretty sure right now it's, in the US anyway, it's just Pulse. It was, I believe, $70, $69.99, but I believe after the tariff stuff kind of went wonky or whatever, and Hasbro raised their prices, it might be $10 more now. It might be $79 instead of $69. But I got this for $69, and the way I see it, there's 2 figures in here. That's $50, and then there's a diorama, and that's $20. So that seems right to me. But we're gonna open it up and take a look and see kind of what if it's actually worth it. On the side here, we do have the Luke Skywalker art. Now these don't match up with any murals, and this is the older style packaging, so it has the slanted sides and whatnot. On the back, it says Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker overpowering a battered and bloodied Luke Skywalker in Cloud City. Sith Lord Darth Vader revealed a frightening truth that he was Luke's father. Yep. And we have a little like dialogue here. We got some attachable clash effects, same that came with the Obi-Wan Anakin pack. So he comes with a soft goods cloak, cape, whatever. And then of course we do have the display. And then on the side here we have Darth Vader. So that's it. That's this. This is not a numbered part of Empire Strikes Back. I just wanted to check that out because I forgot to look. But it is the Empire Strikes Back colors, which we haven't seen, I believe, since like 2021. When I think the last thing they released in Empire Strikes Back was the Boba Fett, the prototype, and that was a re-release from like 2015, 2016. Maybe before that, 2014, 2015. Anyways, so we haven't seen any new Empire Strikes Back figures since 2020 was the last time we got like new figures that weren't repacked. But yeah, so let's go ahead and open this up. Now, I'm not going to do any like, I usually do fancy jump cuts to look like I'm doing crazy stuff, but I'm not going to do that with this because first of all, this is plastic-free packaging. For the people that love plastic-free packaging, that's what this is. There's no opening like window or anything, so you really can't see what you're getting. So there's no reason to do that. So I just kind of want to show you what it's like out of the box. Here, it is a big box. So here we have, ooh, that's fun. We have the figures in their little trays. We have their accessories, and we have the display stand. So first, let's get them out of here. That was easy. They're not. Let's get this tray out of here. Oh no! Darth Vader down! Okay, we got a couple little bags in here. There are these little frames, which I think are the railings. And then we have some more little antenna. There we go. And then we have these little, looks like maybe joiners. And then it looks like some more railings, maybe. And just so we're on the same page, there's no instructions. You get the little, this thing, and there's the back of the box, which I showed off, but there's no, like, there's no instructions. So I'm not quite sure how this goes together, But I'm a smart person. I figure just based on what we have here, I could probably figure it out. This can come apart and go together because it's supposed to be like, when Luke slashes it. Looks like it joins from the side. It looks like it joins right here. Like so. And there's also this piece here that just fits into this little T shape. Probably. Somehow. There we go. So we've got a platform going on here. I'm going to guess there's 5 of these and 5 holes down here. Oop. So I'm gonna guess these little pieces are for that. So now we gotta figure out what's up with all these little pieces here. So there we go. So it looks like these 4 with the little lights on the end go on the corners. I can tell this is going to be an issue. This does not want to stay up or stay on. Let's see here. Then we got all these little pieces. And I'm guessing you just kind of match up the bottoms because they're all slotted. Now, some people might be like, oh, you could have gotten this a lot cheaper with Land Speeder Luke. Like, sure, yeah, if you want to. Land Speeder Luke has done an amazing one of these. If you have the 3D printer already and you have all the filament or the AMS, if you've invested all that money into it, if you've got a spot that you can use, that's reliable for 3D printing in your house that doesn't get bothered while it takes hours to print or anything like that, sure. You absolutely can. Like I said, Luke has done some amazing prints, and I will never say otherwise. I love his prints, and I am actually a Patreon member of his, even though I don't even have a 3D printer. Well, I should say my podcast is. And that's mostly because my podcasting partner, he absolutely has a 3D printer, and he's 3D printed me some stuff. So if that's your thing, man, absolutely, you go for it. I'm never going to poo-poo 3D printing. 3D printing is awesome. My only problem is the people that sort of, gatekeep stuff like this. We're like, yes, could you print it cheaper if you had all the materials and you had the time and you had all that? Yeah, I don't have a spot in my house that I can do any 3D printing. I don't have a 3D printer. I haven't invested in one. And I just, outside of a couple pieces, I don't have space for a lot of 3D prints. But when you have something like this, where I don't have to worry about, painting or printing, or if the print worked properly, if it didn't have any mess ups. I've seen a lot of horror stories of having to redo all the realigning the bed. And I don't know. I'm not poo-pooing 3D printing. I'm just saying it's not as easy as a lot of people make it out to be. But I think for the money, because like I said, this is basically $20. And if I had this sitting here and you're like, hey man, can I have that? I'd be like, yeah, $20. I don't think many people would be like, nah, that's not worth $20. The detailing on here is pretty good. There's a lot of space on it. I like these little clear kind of stands to give it the illusion that it's sort of hovering. It does have the ability to remove this, just like he has in the movie. So yeah, I think that this is great. And as you can see, it didn't take me long to put together. I'm pretty sure I put it together properly because I've never done. There weren't any instructions. I just kind of followed the patterns on the bottom and put things where I thought they looked good. So yeah, that looks good. Anyways, that's enough of that. That to me, yeah, that's worth $20. Now, is it worth, 25 or 30? I don't know. But 20, yes. So let's take a look at the figure that I sort of care about and sort of don't care about. This is Darth Vader. Now, this is, as far as I know, just the same Empire Strikes Back Darth Vader that we've already had in the line. The only difference is he does now have a wired cape. And to me, I believe that kind of makes all the difference. And let me show you what I mean here. And this is true for pretty much every Black Series Darth Vader, is the cape. Ooh, haven't even been looking at what I've been doing. The cape on Darth Vader has always been sort of unwieldy. Like, it's hard to make it look good. It's a little dusty. I should have dusted it. This is the Empire Strikes Back Darth Vader. It was released first, actually, in the 40th anniversary of Empire Strikes Back line, which was a carded kind of retro Kenner line, and then they released it also in the regular Empire Strikes Back sort of packaging here, and the way you can really tell, other than if you look at his chest and stuff, it is different. He has butterfly joints, and he was the first Darth Vader to have butterfly joints, because the previous two Darth Vaders released before this were three Darth Vaders were the one from the blue line packaging, which was a removable helmet, so it was actually based on Return of the Jedi, but it wasn't a very good Darth Vader. And then there was the one in 2017, which was the 40th anniversary Darth Vader, and that was like an all new body, except for the legs. These legs are the same legs that Darth Vader's had since 2014. Hasbro, I love what you're doing up here. Darth Vader is long overdue for new legs. And I know it's probably at the bottom of your list because, he does have, like, he has the unsightly pin joints, which I'm of the opinion that now that when I see pins, I just think old. So I would love updated legs, but I just don't think that we need to keep reusing these legs. Like, legs have come a long way. And I think that even though the legs are mostly covered, I get all the arguments against. The legs are mostly covered with these big robes and whatnot, and it does have a deeper bend that a Vader normally wouldn't get with the way they do legs now. I just prefer the cleaner look, and knowing that it's there, it really is more of a mental thing here. But the big thing here is just that wired cape. You can have the cape blowing in the breeze, kind of the way it was in the pictures. I mean, we can see how crazy we can have it going out. Like that's pretty good for being let's see, I guess it was propped up by the thing there. I'm trying to see how high I can get it to look like it's flowing in the breeze. Kind of. But capes always take some finessing to kind of look right. But the first wired cape in the Black Series was Ronin, and now we have the second. And I'm so excited, just because even if you don't care about posing the cape, it makes the cape look weighted, like it has some weight to it, I guess is what I'm saying. Whereas this just kind of floats. The cape floats. It never looks right. And for Darth Vader, you really need him to look imposing. And it's hard to when his cape's like puffy, like one of those old blouses, like a puffy sleeve blouse. It just, I don't know. It's always kind of looked that way, where it either looks too draped over his shoulder or too far back. It's really hard to get right. Whereas this Vader looks fantastic. Of course, we do have the wired under cape here, the under robe, which is fine. I wish everything had been wired just to, I mean, if Mythic Legions can do it, if C. Jessamine can do it, then Darth Vader, Kenner, or Hasbro, I should say, can do it. But this is just the same Darth Vader we've had in the line basically since 2020 for this one. This is the same one. And he does have new arms, new torso, and a new helmet from the 2017. It was just the legs and maybe the crotch that were reused. And I believe the cape is the same. So this has a new cape on top of that, but it is the same 2020. So a lot of people might look at this and they go, I don't really want another Darth Vader, which I honestly kind of get. He doesn't have a lot new going on, but for some people, like for me, this is going to be my designated Darth Vader, my definitive Darth Vader. If I need to take pictures of Darth Vader, it's going to be this one now. If I'm putting anything in a top 10 character-wise, Darth Vader, it's going to be this Darth Vader right here. This is probably the best Darth Vader. The only thing I really wish they could have, like, I could take or leave the new legs. They really won't make that much of a difference to me. The big difference is the wrists. Now, if you look at some of the newer Darth Vaders that have been released, we've had the Obi-Wan Kenobi battle damage Darth Vader, the final dual one. That one had dual wrists that were hinged like this, and these are hinged, sort of like this. And for doing lightsaber fights, that's not how you want them to be hinged. And it's the same wrist, I'm pretty sure. I don't think, yeah, it's the same wrist. So it's the exact same figure. So I do wish they had given us some new wrists, but that's fine. That's fine. He does come with his lightsaber. It is fully painted. They didn't skimp out on any paint here. The silver is silver. The black is black. All even those little dots here are painted. Everything looks real good. The lightsaber blade does pop out. He can hook the lightsaber onto his belt onto the side right here if you want to store it. But obviously this figure is going to be locked in eternal combat with Luke Skywalker. So he's just going to go right here. I'll put him in a better pose later, and I'll take this out. Now that I'm posing him, the only thing I wish he had were peg holes. The 40th anniversary, the San Diego Comic-Con 2-pack with Anakin and Obi-Wan had peg holes, and those come in handy because you can put them in some fun poses. Like I have both of them in right now, and you don't have to worry about it. So I do wish that there were some foot pegs to kind of secure them. But let's talk about, this is the big thing right here. This is the figure. Maybe a year ago or so, I did a top 10 figure list of figures that they really needed to redo in the Black Series. And Bespin Luke was 100% on that list. So this is the brand new Bespin Luke. Now this is the battle damaged version. I love that we got a battle damaged version, but now that we have a battle damaged version, I do want a non-battle damage version. So for, we do have this one. This was the one from the original Bespin Luke came out in 2014. And then this one is from 2020, the 40th anniversary. And what they did was they gave him a new head. But the head, while it is good, it's big. It's a big head. Whereas, look at this. Look at this, Luke. Look at this. This is look at this face. I'm gonna zoom in here. Look at that face. This is probably the best Mark Hamill likeness we've had in the line since probably the Dagobah Luke, which I have right here. It's the same one. It's the exact same face. That's why it's so good. They just, gave him a little bruising and blood and whatnot. But that's why it looks so good as the exact same face. So that's why that makes sense. I love that they kept, let me zoom this back out. I love they kept the proportions on the Dagobah Luke here, where he's like, this one is he's a little too big. Like his chest is a little too big. His head's a little too big. The proportions, while they're not bad, they're not great, and they look bad when you put them next to a figure where the proportions are good, if that makes sense. Whereas both of these basically are the same figure. And this was probably the best Luke Skywalker figure they made, just in terms of how he moves, how he looks, all that stuff. So this is his essentially spiritual successor, where he's mostly the same. Like his pants are sort of the same. Like his feet are the same. The paint is a little bit more accurate. He does have some tears on the legs, so they're not 100% the same. They are a little bit different in terms of sculpting. But like even the crotch piece is different. So I was thinking, oh, they could just reuse his crotch piece. They could reuse his legs. But you know what? The legs are wholly new because he doesn't have a thigh cut. So those are new legs. The lower legs are the same. So they reused basically from the knee down. And obviously, and the head is the same head, just with a different paint job. But the arms are brand new. The chest is brand new. And the upper thighs are brand new. And the belt is new. I don't think we've had a belt like this before, because it's going to be, it's not the same as this one. I mean, it's similar, but it's definitely not the same. So that's nice. I do like that. That's a lot more new than I was expecting there to be. So let's take a look real quick at his articulation. He does have a butterfly joint. This is a soft torso overlay. So it's under there. He has a pretty deep cut on his elbow, of course, a swivel. He does have a good range of movement on his head because of the double joint at the base of the neck and at the actual neck and shoulders. He has a good amount of movement at his torso. Being this the sort of the rubber overlay, it's the joint is actually hidden. It's probably a double barbell joint here. So you get some really good, some really good movement there. We do have some leg kick forward, a little kick back, but not much. His butt does sort of get in the way there. Of course, we do have this kind of movement, but there's no thigh cut, so none of that. He does have a leg bend like so. That's about as deep as these kind of legs can go, but I've never come up with a reason to need to move him more than that. And then, of course, we do have an ankle rocker and pivot. And then I did forget about his hands. So he has the forwards and backwards. This one is hinged this way. I would have liked, with these being new arms, it's weird that he doesn't have ball jointed, because everything this year has been ball jointed. So it's really weird that he doesn't have ball jointed, but maybe they did that. Which one of his hands gets cut off? Is it this one or is it this one? It's this one, right? I'm pretty sure it's this one. And it does come off. Like his hand, it's not like it's made to come. I mean, it's made to come off in the sense that any Black Series figure hand can come out. It's definitely not in there as tight as like the original Bespin Luke was really in there, because they had these like weird ends on the ends of the hands, which made them real secure in there. You had to like heat them up pretty much to get them out. So you can pop that out if that's something you want to do. If that's how you want to display it, this is the right one for it. This is the right scene for it. This is the iconic, pivotal scene in not just Empire Strikes Back, but maybe all of Star Wars. This is the scene that I think really sealed Star Wars into the minds of everyone. Like, you know, the first Star Wars was good. You had a lot of good moments and stuff, and it was, don't get me wrong, it was a powerhouse. Like, it was something to behold. It was popular, but I feel like the I am your father scene it just hits differently. Wow. This figure does, it looks so so good. I really like this. You could get some good poses out of this. His blaster, I think, let's take a look. His blaster is smaller than the original one. This is very similar, I believe, to the one that came with the new Han Solo. So this is the old one, much bigger. That's the new one right there. There we go. I actually happen to have the Han Solo here because I was using them for some photos. So yeah, Han's is obviously modded, so it's got, oh, come on, man. Come on. Han's is obviously modded, so it has like a, you know, bigger scope and whatnot. But yeah, it's definitely based on the same blaster. And then of course it does fit right into the holster, like so. The autofocus is like, nah, you know what? I'm good. I'm good. Let's get him into a good lightsaber pose. Now, I have been not displaying my figures with their lightsabers ignited just because I've lost a couple of lightsabers from things falling over and whatnot. Now, in this... Oh yeah, look at that. Look at that. That's good. Yeah, he's got the moves. He's got the goods. I do like this. So maybe hold on. Let's now before I finish posing this, you know what I really need to do is take this unsightly tag off. This thing is awful. It's so big. You just can't miss it no matter how you pose it. Like it's back there, which is awful. And you know what? We do have this fun little lightsaber clash piece. Look at that. That is, I mean, this is good. It's smaller than the base that came with the Obi-Wan and Anakin. So I think I've got a good spot for this. Although I think I want to put it in my display case, the fancy one, just because I do think this is kind of worthy of that. I feel like anytime that Hasbro takes the initiative, I guess, they dare to do something fun, like giving us a whole display piece to go with action figures. I want to really celebrate that in my collection. So when they announced this, they said that this was part of a vignette series, which made it, to me, it made it sound like this isn't going to be the only piece. Now, I don't know if every piece is going to have stuff with it, because we did get at New York Comic-Con and whatnot, we got this Mace Windu Darth Sidious Emperor Palpatine pack right here. I haven't really, I've opened it to look at it, but I haven't opened it to play with it. And I am actually, I know I had this whole thing about 3D printing earlier, but I am waiting for the 3D print for that, because I don't think Hasbro's ever going to make the window, and I definitely think that needs the window. The pieces like this do need a little something, a little world building. I don't think Black Series needs world building in the sense that we need, 6-inch scale vehicles and stuff. I'd love it, but after collecting G.I. Joe, I just realized that I just don't think I have the space to dedicate that much to the line. And I know that's not true for everyone, but for me personally, I don't think I want a bunch of giant 6-inch scale vehicles and whatnot. But world building like this, where it's small vignettes of character moments, this is the moment that changed the Star Wars movies. It wasn't just good versus evil. It was family members. It was, found family, sort of. It was evil is my dad. Like, I don't know. Like, to me, this is what elevated Star Wars from just being a generic 70s space movie, about wizards and princesses and stuff, to being something special. This is what gave it some of that lore. Before this, Anakin wasn't that interesting. It wasn't until they revealed that Anakin was the bad guy the whole time. Luke's dad that we heard about, who was a cunning warrior and a great pilot and a good friend, was the bad guy. Like that just spoke to me, growing up. And it was one of those things I never had that moment where I was like, what? Luke is Vader's dad? Because by the time I was born in 82, that was already in the zeitgeist. That was already out there. People were making jokes about it. It wasn't a secret. It was a well-known thing. But there was a moment where I let myself realize that, where it's one thing knowing it, like, oh man, it's his dad. Another thing, thinking about what that means to have your dad be the guy you were fighting, the guy that hurt your friends, the guy that the whole galaxy fears, hates, whatever. That there was that moment for me, which I feel like is just as special when you sort of internalize and look past it from just a surface level kind of thing. And I think that's neat. And man, I love this set. This is a good set. This right here, even though it's a figure that we've mostly already had, with the exception of the cape, which I'm really gonna have to mess around with this cape. On paper, I like it, but I'm not liking the way it's looking right now. I'm just gonna be honest about that. But this set and this figure right here are 1000% worth it for me. Right there, 1000% worth the price. Even at $80, I might say that this set is still worth the price. Although I'm a little bit more apprehensive about it, but it is good. It is a good set. It's not as mind-blowing as the Anakin Obi-Wan set, which were two wholly new figures with, a bunch of different accessories. I do wish we had some swishy lightsabers. I wish we had some foot pegs. Little things like that. I wish Vader had some alternate hands. Even if they don't want to do, new Vader legs or whatever, alternate hands for both of them would have been great. I don't think they need alternate heads. I think if Luke's wearing this outfit, I think that head, the face they gave him, is perfect. He's bloody. This is the end of Empire Strikes Back Luke, and they painted him perfectly, and I love it. One more thing I really wish that they had done with this is during the fight, Luke got a lucky hit on Vader, right on the arm, and within seconds, that is when Vader disarmed Luke, literally. Vader was like, what? Nope. And then immediately cut off his wrist within like 2 or 3 moves. And I wish that if I could have asked Hasbro to do one more thing, that would be to see if they could retool and remold just that upper arm to have some battle damage. And I think that really would have sold it. Just to give Vader a little something besides the cloak, which again, I like, but it's just a little something. So I'm going to give this set probably a solid, just off the cuff, having played for it for, at this point, 40 minutes. I don't know what the actual runtime of the review is, but I've played for this for roughly about 40 minutes now. And I'm going to say this is a 4.25 out of 5, somewhere around there. So like an 8 or 9 out of 10, if you want to do that, 8.5 out of 10. I do think I would have liked some instructions, although they weren't necessary. There's some little things I wish that they had. I do think the new price of the set is a little high, although that's not necessarily Hasbro's fault. That's just the world economy right now. So, do with that what you will. But for me, this set brings joy. Definitely happy to pick this up. Let me know what you think of it. Are you picking this up? Are you passing? But more importantly, I think the right question is, what else would you like to see in this line? I had an idea when I was talking to Eric, the designer at San Diego Comic-Con this summer. I thought because they had just announced Jango Fett. I thought a Jango Fett Obi-Wan fight diorama would be really cool. You know, you get Jango with the he has a different backpack during that fight than the one that's coming with the new figure. He has the gauntlets, the little Batman gauntlets, the little spikes that come out. Obi-Wan could have, you know, slick back, wet hair. There's a lot of stuff that you could do with that. And I think that would be a fun thing. But let me know what you would like to see from this line. I think that has a lot of potential in the line. So, you know what? Thanks so much for watching. Thanks for getting this far. I'd like to take this moment and thank these people here for supporting me on YouTube members. I don't have Patreon anymore, so if you're looking for that, that's long gone. But the people that are on this list really do. It helps a little bit just to know that you guys care, and this does take a lot of work to put together. So thanks so much for being you on this list. And if you're just watching, thank you for getting this far. That also means a lot to me. I'm glad that anyone wants to hear me ramble about toys. I'm a yapping about toys, and you're watching. So thanks so much for that. Like, share, and subscribe. That helps too, and it's free to do. And like I said, let me know what you think. And with that, I will talk to you later. Bye.